Who is Ella? Streets are these junctions where the congregation has gathered in the rain, moaning hymns and ringing bells against institutions and engines of taxation. To no avail, to no ease, not even. It is her own face she encounters in the pharmacy's glass window, her own dark eyes. Then she remembers the sea almond coast she roamed as a child, remembers her friends who went to work in the factories. Sheltering in the doorway of the Ethiopian restaurant, she stands beside Hilaire, whose skin is old till keratin is swollen and prune-like on his hands. They both shelter in the shade from showers which increase and watch the rain splash in finality to the road. This was Hilaire, who would press himself upon women, pretending to be drunk at dances at the Shakonia Inn, but then was seen stalking between the pews of the Catholic Church for the sacrament on Saturday morning. He was obsequious, had strategies, a merchant of desire who dialed a line and entangled within. He dressed in fine fabrics, strict silk, triple wool, robust cotton, soft flannel. He was a man who listened without looking, who stared concentratedly to the ground as you spoke. He pressed his thought against women in unshifting crowds. But this was fiction. Hilaire himself was long dead and deeper in the ground. He was not there in the awning, not there buying a brisket of beef at the butcher's. He was not there reading big books, Delaney, Atlantis, at the library. In the unforgiving storm, the city seemed to succumb to the darkness, to drown, and its services were shut. Its midway trains broken on their lines, blessed city water of the rivers were washing away businesses, barristers' offices, brick fortifications, pyramid schemes, and Soucis were shut. And now the land seemed to yield to the actress's gaze, changing its shape and architecture as she imagined it. For her, the sweet earth and all the cornbirds and the avocado trees, her father's garden, the cane burning, shoes with broken heels, the barber cutting the laborer's hair with scissors, scirocco and a silverfish, trousers rolled up above the ankles. She is moving along the wet roads, water in her shoes, in the recesses of her soles, water in her taciturn boots, Perry Promenade, the dirty market, the tennis courts, the postal sorting office. Wandering among the botanical gardens, the roots of huge trees, her mother in that garden with a cigarette and a spade, stooping at the crown of thorn bush, grimacing in the sun. There are orchids here in greenhouses, dahlias and species of ornamental onions with copulating stamens and buds. Her mother sits in the quiet place beside the greenhouse gates. Let the water run down. And how inextricable that which she wishes to find is the very thing she wishes to hide from. The incredible vision, its oil-soaked back, and the eyes to see it. Ella, an actress, she lets her head roll. The sky emerging grey between the glass roofs of the greenhouse. The kisses of raindrops on her lips are the warm kisses of a lover. The musician's seductive tongue, which probes her mouth for a promise she is unwilling to commit to. And so he waits, refuses her calls, wraps himself safe, absorbed in the passing of time, in the secrets of his room. Much earlier, at the school of near-righteous priest, the master thespian had organized the game of mask. Mask of identical appearance. Each member of the troupe wore the expressionless and hence dead mouth of the mask, the eyes of slits and of glimpses. No words must be spoken, and yet they must act out each scene rich with innuendo and pathos. When her turn came, the instructor faced Ella at the table. The line of fantasy was drawn, and to mimic the true vine, he kissed her mouth, forcing his tongue through the mask, and then enacted a hurtful parting, in which she was left sitting in a darkened room, far away from any place she had wanted to be. Later, they drank the house red at a brasserie on Rue des Petites ecuries, where a trio from Burkina Faso were playing. And in the pace of the snare, the hi-hat hissing, she thought again of the musician's mouth, his wet kisses as well upon her breast, the hardness of his cock, how he held her thighs like trees in ferocious wind, and impressed her inner thighs tight against the bed. He devoured her each time, and then the push of his breath blew against her ear. She sighed, forgot the impecunious ruin of him, his reputation as the wind, as a wound in wood. He drowned in her, the demon, the dark eyes, and her body she gave to him in each death was trembling, frail and tender in the nascent softness of morning. They drowned together, were each searching for the same thing. She had driven through New England from Boston to Montreal. He watched from the balcony as she arrived with her suitcase, her soft clothes. The streets were white with snow. All still except the customers in the bagel shop on the corner and the men on the sidewalk blowing heat into their cupped hands. She begins like a dream from the elevator, leaning so tender against him that he swoons in invisible sleep, kissing her on her forehead. He holds her heat, the essence of her neck, the sacred air spring between them. Love, deep and strong, mountainous with love, treacherous with promise, real with tears and supplication of the body, of the Atman and mind, the milk of religion dripping from their tongues. She could not sleep. She was weeping in a field alone, like the last glimpse back at the disappearing road. She was sure he did not love her, but he loved her deeply, like a melody he had carved from wind and glue.